Welcome back to the episode. Just a friendly reminder to like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Um, it is December 30th. So I think the last time we chat, it's been a couple weeks. Since then, our Lions have played a couple games. Um, Talk a little bit more about that. But even most recently, starting off just with Michigan football, they have found a coach since we last chat about what they do there. They're also less than 24 hours away from playing a pretty big bowl matchup against Texas. So we'll unpack that a little bit, dive into our Lions. They had some pretty disappointing losses. As I briefly mentioned, we'll just kind of unpack the season there overall, as we'll be at home on the couch for the playoffs this year for the first time in a couple years. But yeah, start things off. Yeah, I'll kick it over to you. Just want to see your thoughts on Kyle Whittingham. We'll start with there when it comes to Michigan football.
Yeah, I would say. Sorry about that. It's real similar to what we said via text. Kind of what I said then. It's not the sexy hire. It's not DeBoer's. It's not the home run hit of DeBoer's. I think everybody would have said.
Yeah.
It's not
What was it
Dillingham.
graded?
Yeah. Sorry.
Great.
Give it like a. I'll say a B. Yeah, I think
Yep.
it's very, very solid. Not. I don't think it's gonna. I don't think he's going to rock the boat too much. You kind of know what you're going to get from him. He's been
Yeah.
a football coach for 20 years at a different program. Hopefully, he can mimic very similar to what he did there, move it over to here. And that's just something I think you wouldn't have got with a lot of other coaches that we were talking about. Maybe the Dillingham out of Arizona State would be the sexy hire and what our offense could look like and this and that and that. And or the Drake Witch got popped up in this. But I do think what we have now here is uh, a guy who's built a program before, and what hopefully he can do now is kind of take the nucleus that we have here and get us into shape, whip us into shape, whip us into kind of a fierce machine that the pieces that we have, we know of all the high caliber high school players over the last handful of years that we've collected, and it's kind of what we're looking for is a guy to just dive in nose first on football. And it looks like that's what he does. He's a football guy. He breathes it every single year. You don't stay a head football coach at a program for 22 years without that.
Mhm.
You don't become a perennial upper echelon program in the Big 12 and the Big Pac 12 or whatever conference they played in throughout his 20 years there. Mountain West, I think, at some point. And he's been successful at all those levels with the exact same blueprint: physical, run the ball. And I think back to a couple of years ago when me, you, and Kyle were sitting around watching Caleb Williams when he was at USC in that game when they ran into Utah that night, and just how just the differential in style. USC was flying the ball up and down the field, and they would come down and just hard nosed football every single time, and it reminded me of Michigan. We said that at that point, and so overall, I think I would give it like a B. I'm going to grading scale at 83, so whatever it be, closer to a B. B minus.
Yeah.
B. I don't think it's the greatest pick ever, but I think he'll come in here and stabilize some things. So, and if he can rate his roster, I think that's added juice on for what we're looking to do.
Yeah. I think I give it like a B to B plus. And I really feel like just given the time, and I don't know. It's kind of funny. I think I said a couple weeks back in that group chat, like I wish that Kyle Whittingham was like 10 years
Mm-hmm.
younger. To which I don't know, maybe we focus all a little too much about the age side of things to where like he looked like he's more like in his 40s just because of how he takes care of himself. But like I don't know, I think for me I think it's just kind of best case scenario given the time, given the timing around it, just where we are with things. I always did feel like it'd be a match made in heaven. As far as just like play style, culture, how they play, and yeah, I don't know. It kind of feels like potentially like Beeline 2.0. Like it could go. You know, I mean, I can't see it not going well. You know what I mean? I just think it's gonna be a matter of can he just like gets over the hump, which I think he can, just like giving off of like the coach experience. And I think the hump being playoff, win a game or two, with the expansion side of things and kind of see from there. I think he definitely can get us where we need to be. I think, yeah, really just the way they play. I mean, I remember they dropped like 40 on Hoke in the big house.
Mhm.
I remember they really beat down on Michigan, Harbaugh's first game, and they went out to Utah. They beaten, I think, Oklahoma in a bowl game.
Yeah, I
It'd be
look. I
like
mean,
US,
he had a Fiesta Bowl, a
yeah,
couple of Fiesta Bowls, I think, appearances.
yeah. Most recently beating like the USC multiple times with Caleb Williams. I mean, I
Yeah,
think in
yeah.
some
No,
tough games against some
we're
Big
not
Ten
definitely not
opponents.
plucking a guy from sister of the poor. I think it's not
Yeah,
on the caliber of Michigan. He's not a blue
and these are
blood.
guys,
Yeah,
and I've watched them close enough to be like to hear broadcasts say like Sione Vaki, for example, playing like both sides of the ball for Utah, like running back and safety, but like they just do that to people to where it's kind of out of me. It kind of feel like the team type deal to where you had a lot of guys here and there that would move positions or just kind of you know do as necessary to get the job done. And I imagine with more talent and more resources, we're looking at a situation where I think he might be able to elevate the program back to where it needs to be the next couple of years.
yeah. I think we are everything we have in place. Thinking the match. I think considering this situation getting dropped on our lap only probably 20 days ago. I think it was on the 10th exactly. So 20 days ago, this getting dropped on our lap. And the kind of the roller coaster of all of that to where we are now, I think we landed in a very solid place. And I think he has we know where we're getting out of him. And I think we know what we have in this roster. And if we can keep the roster intact and he can kind of get on the phone with a couple of his guys, including that defensive end, I think his last name is Daly, be one of our first calls. Let's go ahead and get him.
Yeah,
And let's take a couple of tight ends, a couple of offensive linemen. I think you talk to our coaches that you're retaining and figure out what exactly we should get in. And I don't think I think I know our schedule is a little tougher next year, but I think being 66 years old with the lay of the land and how young we are. I mean, I don't think he's our answer for next 10 years. But if he can come here for 4 or 5 years, get us another two Big Ten championships, another 2 or 3 college football playoff appearances, compete for some championships. That's what we're looking to do. And I feel pretty confident in that. Just I play devil's advocate a little bit. Does it potentially scare me that it's easier to be physical out west than it is in the Big Ten? Yeah. Does it potentially scare me that just kind of playing? I read a guy that said I read something that said he's never had a 5-star, I think, or he's only had like literally like 38 4 stars in his 22 careers or something. Like he hasn't had very top echelon talent. But they also said that means he's not competing against teams that are competing for those type of players as far as recruiting goes. So that was kind of an interesting theory that I was wondering. It's kind of how would that look when you're not. Basically, what they were saying is he's from Utah. You show up to a 3-star, 2-star. You're kind of like that's their best case scenario. Versus you show up at a 5-star. He don't even know who you are. He's used to Lane Kiffin. He's used to whoever. Um, those are the type of things I do potentially wonder. But as far as X's and O's and whether he'll be passionate and come up with good game plans, I think all that should be straight check marks down the field. Uh, and I'm excited to see what he can do. It looks like he's already been on the phone with Bryce. Looks like
yeah,
um, the big kid Meadows, 5-star DN said he's cool with it. I Heitler, Savion Heitler. I'm assuming that's why we mainly retained a running back coach was to keep him. So some of the bigger pieces are being to fall in place.
yeah, yeah. No, it's yeah. I think overall it's exciting. Just like optimistic. We'll just kind of see what this portal thing looks like. That's just kind of the biggest hurdle that they have to jump now. But I do feel like, you know, might lose 8 to 10, probably will gain 12 to 15, and you got some, you're gonna have some, most like possibly have some proven guys, coming from a place that is of this, culture that of this coach that he already built over there, and um, yeah, so we'll just see how things look like as far as retaining this roster. You know, it's interesting. Like Bryce goes, I'm interested to see what he'll do for Michigan. And like some people are just like, oh, well, that means he's gonna stay. I think he's gonna stay. I think it's kind of interesting. It was a very like vague like comment, like
Yeah.
speaking from like I don't know, just third person, so to speak. But why not? I'm excited to see what they're gonna do for us. But I don't know. I think he's gonna stay, but stuff like that's kind of funny to just kind of see people gotta take that and run with it.
No,
But I
yeah,
think yeah,
people buy into all the little, it's hard not to. I mean, I said, it's hard not to, but people
well, for
buy
sure.
into all of it.
Yeah.
But no, in general, man, I think we got a solid coach.
Yeah. And just
You
real
did
quick,
bring it up, but it wasn't one of our, it wasn't one of the home run hits. But I
yeah. I
think
think it might be a better hire than Kiffin though, honestly.
I would tend to agree with that. And people, the age, I mean, people are talking. Kurt Signetti's 2 years younger than this guy. So I think if you
The
can,
city's worked out for 1,000 days straight, Peloton every day.
yeah, I believe it. So I seen the little video of him. He'd be riding around on a Harley and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a crazy dude.
But I was gonna ask you though, because and this is kind of a random question. So gave Bryce what, like 11 mil? I mean, I, I think he's worth it. You think he's getting a similar, better deal like that in the portal, given his performance this past season?
Yeah, I do want to say I believe it was like 11 or
I think he had
12
a good
million.
season.
It was
I think he had
11
a
or
good
12
season.
years over 4 years. It was 11 to 12 over 4 years. So do I think he can go get three in the portal, four in the portal? Probably. Um, I do. It's just, I think weight, especially, I mean, like,
All that guaranteed, you think? Or you see anything
yeah,
smile like match that and maybe give him like 8/2?
yeah. I wouldn't be shocked if somebody would offer something like that. I think I've
Yeah.
even heard like certain schools like Miami, they're not even in the developing quarterback. They want to go pluck the Carson Beck. They want to pluck.
When now mode.
Yeah. But
Woo.
yeah, that came fast. Real quick, the last thing I'll say is crazy shit I heard about this is potentially, so the whole pool of NIL money for Michigan more or less is kind of like a salary cap for how much we have to work with to pay all the players. I heard you let Bryce walk and go get his quarterback he had already, and then use
Oh,
that
the
money.
guy Dampier.
That's just what I heard somebody on the podcast say, and I think that's a crazy talk. But the dude had 22 touchdowns, 5 picks, 700 rushing yards, 7 touchdowns. No, that is kind of what I'd imagine Bryce would look like next year. Very similar stats to that. Because like we said, Bryce's main thing was a touchdown pass issue. If he's sitting here
Yep.
with 17 touchdown passes, nobody's saying anything.
Yeah, and three or four of them was dropped.
But yeah, no, that's neither here nor there. But I know we want to get into the all top cities, Michigan, or of our dear Detroit
Yeah.
Lions.
I think, I think just for the
Oh
sake
yeah,
of the
the
clock,
recap. Yeah, or for the
yeah, I think we'll just do kind of like a
yes,
blanket, like end of the season, uh, just just
for sure.
evaluation here.
I want that.
Just given what we got here as far as the clock. So I'm happy to start. I think, yeah, I think overall, I just kind of like bottomed out, and really, you know, started to turn. Yeah, I thought you were kind of fierce on offense, but the offensive line just wasn't able to like hold up. The defense I think played pretty well through like week 11, maybe. I think they're like top 15. I think when I last looked, they're in like, the 24, 25, 26 range. Yeah, and it's tough because I think you look back at some of these games and it's still in the midst of that. There were some plays that just still weren't made, whether it was like Amon St. Brown dropping passes, Jamo dropped a couple.
I'm around saying
Um,
drop is crazy.
Amon St. dropping passes. Him in the podcast. But yeah, no, I think that's the toughest part is like it still kind of felt like, we came into some of these games, we beat ourselves, we couldn't capitalize on opportunities, and in the midst of everything else kind of going on. I mean, like I said, it's kind of bottomed out.
Right.
So we're just gonna see what this will do to motivate a front office to do what they can to shore some things up. Because I think the depth was strong at some point. We had 16 guys on IR again, so it's just difficult to. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what they're able to do to bring in some better depth and get some guys in the draft, address some major issues, and I think next year's the year.
So it's always our year next year. No, I second a lot of that, man. It's just, you know, I personally would say probably a little bit of mismanagement on your asset capital, whether your free agent signings or particularly your draft picks, and that old line extremely suffered because of that. Just you didn't have enough next men up that were quality
Yeah,
players ready to go. When now it's hard to replace a Ragnar now, but outside of that, when Decker goes down, it's tough.
yeah.
Panay goes down for, even if he's coming back in the game, it's just at one point there was like five dudes out there. I didn't know damn near who any of them was.
They put
And
a guard at tackle.
yeah, in the mid game, yeah. Um, got our I can't what's the is it Cologne the center? You
I
know,
think he was hurt.
practice squad. I'm just saying practice squad guys
Oh
getting hurt. Like
yeah,
it's just it's a real just who's who of any of these guys. Like and that's hard on any type of team, and in particular, I think with how we're built. With I love Gibbs, but little scat backish from time to time. Maybe just not putting his head down enough and getting those hard nosed yards like a Monty would in certain situations, like he was probably used to in Chicago. And Golf just needs a more structured line, needs a cleaner pocket in order for him to be who he is, push the ball down the field to our other weapons. And I think all of that just begin to layer after layer fall apart. Us not controlling the time of possession like we have in past years means our defense is out there more often, getting more vulnerable, getting more tired. Bad defense getting tired is never usually a good thing. Um, Even when we went out of characteristic throughout the last couple of weeks and settled for field goals, we blew them half the time. It's
yeah.
just it was a real crash of momentum for what they had built over the last couple of years, and we knew this would be a tough season. And even still, it just you controlled your destiny 3 weeks out, and you couldn't get it done the last couple of weeks. And then you sit back and look at how the cards fell last time, and like you said, you could be fighting going to Chicago, like you mentioned right before we hop on. You should be going into Chicago with controlling your destiny still, with the playoff bid at.
Green Bay and Chicago lost.
Yeah. So yeah, it was there for you. It was there if you let what was his name? Rex Bozeman. What was it? Who did we lose to? Rex. I can't think of his name right now. It was something like that, but we lost it.
I know you said Rex Grossman. I'm like, wait, time out. I was like, wait a minute.
No, yeah.
First, I thought I don't know his name, but I don't know. I don't know his
It might
name.
as well. It might as well have been Rex Grossman, but we.
Yeah.
And that's just unexcusable. And the last thing I'll say before
Max
we got 4 minutes.
Brosmer.
What was it?
Max Brosmer.
Yeah, Max Brown.
Oh, sorry.
No, you got to laugh about it because it's just bad. And who was it? Adelson had that 60-yard end around touchdown. Did you notice before that? This is how bad that quarterback play was. They ran the same play. He didn't turn and hike it and give it to him. They called a timeout and then he ran. And I was like, our defense ain't paying attention. Like that's just, that was the
Like nobody took any play like snaps of the like nobody saw like yeah. I don't know, man. It got weird down
yeah.
towards the end there.
But I think I mean, this is a conversation for another day, whether the window's closed and all that good stuff. But I do know regardless of any of that, we got to revamp the offensive line. I think both of
Yeah.
us agree minimum of 3 new guys needs to be on their roster heading into August here.
Yeah.
You know, and then I guess last thing, thoughts on resting players or playing them this weekend?
I don't know how we're going. I don't know if many guys will be getting their rest, just given the opponent. I'm just gonna take a little time here as we got, and I just got to tip the cap to Ben Johnson. I have to. Just talking him down, talking crazy about him. I'm gonna tip the cap. I'm gonna eat my words. He's got Chicago rolling. Now, granted, they did have a last place schedule. Um, they also were the only team in our division to beat the Eagles. Um, just got to give him a lot of credit, man. Caleb Williams looking a little scary, to be honest. They'll have their fun this year. It's all good.
You gonna be back?
We'll be
Yeah.
back. We're gonna be back. I still think we're still gonna have still got a top 3 running back, top 2 top 10 receivers. Just gotta address some issues. It sucks to go out this way. I'd like for it to at least last another couple weeks and give yourself a chance, especially if the NFC being this wide open. But it is what it is.
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely think you could tell Ben Johnson had his stamp on the run game.
Yeah,
Chicago mirrors what is kind of what we were looking like. And
yeah,
obviously that's easier to do with an offensive line. But
yeah. I mean, yeah.
yeah, so it circles back to that, man. You gotta
Get those
invest in the
turns back
trenches.
right.
That's where the grid is built. The grid ain't built with the 6'4" Goldilocks white receiver from in the third round. The grid is built with them boys from Bama.
Hey, let's
Yeah,
who says no? Put like 40 pounds on Tesla and just make him play tight end.
I'm with it. Why not?
Yeah.
And we trade. Yeah, we have to get creative. We're gonna get creative with it. But no,
Yeah, we got some time to do some draft stuff, but we're gonna be doing hoop season from here on out.
yeah, we got our Pistons. Our Pistons play the Lakers tonight.
Yeah.
But no,
So
I don't even do we want to do a score prediction.
uh 30-27 Lions.
We gonna pull it out. We probably will. We probably. I'm a mirror. I'm gonna go 31-24. We're gonna move us back like 3 picks.
Yeah. It'd be worth it though.